Alright guys, we looked at BombJack in my last video, and now it's the turn of the sequel BombJack II from Elite Software, released in 1987, full price, and then finally on the budget label Encore for a much cheaper price. And whether you noticed there as well, with the full price release of BombJack II, they also gave you the original BombJack free as well. So there you go, good value for money. So let's get this started up. And first thing to mention is it's quite a bit different to the original BombJack, and this is not based on an arcade game. Elite Software still had the rights to it, and they asked Tecmo if they could do their own sequel. So this isn't a conversion of sorts, it's a brand new game. Don't know who the programmers are. It mentions there Andy, Tez and Kaz and Paul. CPC Power website has the programmers listed as Paul Holmes and Andy Williams, although it just says by Pip on the title screen there. No music though. So let's get this started off, and here's the first level. I'll let you watch and digest for a second. Right, there's quite a lot to mention here, and I'm not really sure they should have slapped the BombJack name on this. So you remember the original game, this isn't much like it. For starters, there's no sodding bombs in the game. You seem to be collecting sacks of money. And you can't really fly. You can only go to certain platforms if they're directly in line with the platform you're on, and you can only jump between them. Sure, he sort of flies between the platforms, but you don't have the freedom to sort of fly about the screen at will. The main character doesn't look like BombJack much. He looks more like a, I don't know, he looks more like a red-coloured pirate or something, with his like little stabby sword and knife he's got there. One thing is intact though, is that if you have to collect bombs in a certain order. In the previous game it was flashing bombs, and this time it's well, flashing pools of money or something. You can see there's one on the bottom there. But lots of different characters. I should mention these first of all. See these like blue things flying about? They're like sort of evil jacks or something. And they're the hardest enemies in the game, because they chase you about. Right. Where to start? Now first of all guys, there are only 17 levels in the game before the game loops around. The same sort of structure of layouts. The manual actually advertises 40 levels, which is a complete lie, but there's 17 levels, so we'll get up to level 18 and we can see it loop around. And I'm going for basically like a sort of 100% perfect playthrough here, well, long play, collecting all the items in order and not dying once. And this is a tall order because it gets very tough very quickly. And like I said, you can jump between platforms, but they've got to be exactly in line. So for example here, you can only sort of jump down from that first platform, and there's certain ones you can't reach. So if they're not exactly horizontally in line or vertically in line, you cannot jump to them. And this brings in a puzzle element to the game. It's like working out how to get around. Like I say, I've had to do sort of quite a route there to get that. So this makes the game really tough, especially if you do it in what I am, trying to collect them all in order. And if you do collect them all in order, then you get a massive score and also a bonus life. So things do have to get quite tough quite quickly. And it also, in terms of puzzling as well, it really depends which bag you pick up first. there may be several choices, and if you pick up the wrong one, it may mean you won't be able to get a perfect collection of flashing items, because some won't be reachable without picking up a bag that's not in the next order or whatever. So really, you need to sort of practice the levels first, each one, to see which one of the bags you should pick up first. Otherwise, you could get stuck. And you can still complete the level, of course, but not perfectly. And as you can see there, guys, the enemies sort of change from like a dragon lizard type thing to a robot. And the robot mutates itself into a more aggressive robot that will just chase you more until it finally mutates into those sort of like evil blue jacks that chase you about, and they can be really tough, especially when they gang up on you. One new element to the gameplay is like Jack can push enemies off platform, smashing and killing them, and they respawn on one particular platform. And as you can see there, guys, there's loads of them there. If I jump on that platform now, in the bottom left corner, I'll immediately get knocked off. And of course, yeah, Jack's got a little stabby sword thing, which doesn't seem to make much of a difference in pushing them off. So what I'm doing here is actually waiting for them to turn into the evil blue jacks, because they'll get off the platform and give me space to jump on it. So there they go. I'm jumping down, jumping across. There we go. And it doesn't take long for them to mutate, which is why you have to be pretty quick in clearing levels, and very careful, especially of smashing some enemies off the side, because they could respawn on a certain platform, which makes things even tougher to complete the level. So, like for example, on this one, I've been really careful. I don't want to get too many enemies on that central platform, because that central platform will take us to where we need to be on the left or the right of the map. Actually, this map isn't too bad. I've no idea why I decided to jump across there. Where are we at now? We're at level 8 already. So about 9 or 10 levels to go before we've basically done this. And I'm making this look pretty easy, but trust me, this gets really hard. Certainly had a nightmare in the last few levels, and this long play took quite a bit of time to do. So yeah, I'm not really sure this should have been slapped to the BombJack license. 1, there's no bombs. 2, doesn't really look like BombJack. BombJack, the character himself, was more of a sort of a cartoony type guy. Looked more like a, I don't know. Let's just say this Jack looks a lot more human. You can see his like little arms and white arms and legs and face. He's got blue hair, but he doesn't have the horns. Doesn't look like BombJack on compared to like the loading screen and the adverts and the game box. So really, when playing this game, and especially reviewing it, you need to try and forget that it's been slapped to the BombJack license, because this is actually an excellent game in its own right. It's extremely well programmed. The graphics and colours are really nicely used. I like the backgrounds, even if they are a little bit blocky. It's really colourful. There's no music, but the sound effects are really, really good. And it does feel like an actual arcade game you're playing as well, even though there wasn't like an original arcade coin-op machine for BombJack II. It certainly does give the feel of an actual arcade game. And actually, this is a really good game. And do you know what? I think it was possibly a mistake them slapping it with the BombJack license. I think they would have got maybe better reviews at the time. Because then the reviewers are not going to compare it to BombJack. Although, to be fair, Amstrad Action at the time, in issue 19, gave it 91% overall. And on the re-release on the Encore label, they only gave it 70% later on. I don't know about other systems. Spectrum version, I haven't really played, haven't really seen it. From what I remember, it's sort of a bit messy, and they tried to use a few colours, and it doesn't really work as well. The Commodore 64 versions seems to be a bit more sort of slower and easier to play actually. The Amstrad version's definitely got the more faster and tighter gameplay. And I think I'd argue again that probably this is the best version out of the three. Feel free to disagree in the comments though. To be fair, I haven't really played the Spectrum or Commodore 64 versions. Right, where are we at now? I think that was level 12 we've just done. And yeah, this should be level 13 coming up here. Yeah, things are starting getting really tough now. Got a very, very tight room for manoeuvre here. Oh yes, of course. But some of you will be wondering what those sort of coloured bar charts on the left-hand side of the screen are in the status window. Well, just below the lives, you can see the red, yellow, and green and blue bar. Now just red. That's Jack's energy, and you can spend a lot of time pushing creatures around, but the more you push a creature, your energy drops down until if it reaches 0 and you're pushing a creature, then you die and blow up. And what about all the bars below the BombJack II logo? That is the energy level of the enemies you're facing. So watch out for the next time I push an enemy. You can see his energy sort of drop down. So they too have their own energy levels. And that's a pretty novel feature actually. I quite like that idea. There's not a lot of nice little touches in this game. It's really well thought out. And I don't think that energy regenerates. Jack's energy regenerates though, which is handy, but quite slowly. And if you can see their energy is low and work out which enemy that is, then there may be more of a chance of taking a risk and jumping onto a platform where it is and smashing it off the side. One technique to learn here is trying to jump in the middle of a platform, and if you jump up and down very quickly, you often won't get pushed off. So I've just zipped through those 3 enemies there. This one's a tough one. That was very lucky there. I could have easily died. So if you're jumping up and down to some vertically aligned platforms, it's better to try and sort of stay in the middle of them. You've got less chance of being knocked off. And there's some techniques I talk about with these blue guys to try and get past them. Like jumping up and down, they'll follow you up and down. And you can try and bunch them together and avoid their attacks by just keep jumping up and down, up and down, up and down. Moving a little to the left or moving to little to the right if you need to be jumping to a certain platform to the left or the right of you. You'll see that in action probably in the next few levels. Actually, what am I talking about? This is actually the second to last level. This is level 16 already. And a really sort of complicated layout of platforms here. So there's a lot of thought gone into the game design, and especially of each level as well. Obviously they have to work out if it is completable. And I think a lot of credit to the programmers here. Even though it's incredibly tough and frustrating at times, it is good fun. It really is good fun. I think they were just probably wrong to slap it with the BombJack license. I mean, the character doesn't even really look like BombJack to me. Those nasty blue guys look more like BombJack, probably. But it plays ever so fast, ever so smooth. The controls are really, really responsive as well, which is essential in a game like this. You may not like the style of game, but you have to admit it's really, really well programmed and really well planned and thought out and executed. Shame there's no music, and shame there isn't really sort of an ending. It just loops around. The manual did say 40 levels. I've been really mad and played up to level 14, level 41, level 42, and the game just loops over and over within the same 17 levels. Doesn't get any harder. But this is the last level, guys, and this is a real tough one. You had to sort of do this like loop around. Go up here into that top platform, so you can get to these here that will take you to the far left. And this is really tough. One strange thing I found on this level: those blue guys, if they can't get to you, they've not smashed you off. They'll eventually congregate on the far right platform. So I'm using this jumping up and down constantly technique to avoid them. And as you can see, they've all congregated there. I'm not sure, I just came across this by chance actually, and I'm not sure they do a similar thing on other levels or not. But while I'm waiting here, I'm waiting for my energy level to increase and get our energy back on full. It might give us more of a chance. And this level guys, this is pretty much the last level, level 17, is insanely hard. And I have to be honest here, I had to use a snapshot reload on this level a few times. Thank God I did do a save point. Anyway, not sure what else to mention. Right, I'm doing very well here. Keep using the jumping up and down technique. Try not to jump onto a platform where there's already one of these blue guys if you can. Okay, and we'll let them all congregate there. Give some breathing room, and there we go. Be quick as you can, you can't make any mistakes. And there we go, we've done it. That's level 17 done, and that's the final level, essentially. And wow, I was really proud of getting that done. So here we are, level 18, this is where it loops. Here's level 18, and then here's a screenshot from level 1. And as you can see, the platforms and the creatures and the bags of gold or whatever are all in the same place. And by the way, in the manual there's no backstory to the game at all. It's really, really crap. They haven't really made much of an effort. And you can zip around the levels really quickly if you don't go for the order of the items. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to give this review score of 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. Yep, as high as that. So 9 out of 10 from me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.